Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Soccer podcast, where my voice gets sexier as the podcast goes on. Nope, it's not that type of podcast, but we will be answering some of your questions today, and I think we're on the podcast number, 6? Something like that. I always lose count. And just before we get started, just a few announcements. The voted video will, or at least should be up tomorrow. Sorry for the delay on videos recently, guys. As some of you know, I've been working on a video course, and it's been really dominating most of my time and consuming most of it. So it's been a struggle at points in the last few weeks to get some videos out, so I do apologize for that, but I do plan on having the voted video out tomorrow, so make sure you look out for that. And just a quick reminder on the course is essentially finished. It hasn't really been released yet, and I haven't announced it. If you're on my email list, I just sent a sneak peek today, and if you get on my email list pretty quickly, you'll have first access to the course, because I'm going to be telling my email subscribers first when the course is actually out, and I'm going to give them like the link and everything they need to sign up, and all the information they basically need. Okay, so if that's something that interests you and you really want like first glimpse and access to that, definitely get on my email list really quickly, because I will give that to you in the next couple of days. But for all of those who are patient and don't really care if you wait or not, I will probably be releasing a video this weekend with like a preview of the course and some more information on how you can sign up and all of that as well. And remember, the course is on the key fundamentals of soccer. Basically, the course is over 100 minutes of me showing you guys how to do certain skills, showing you how to become essentially a complete player. My goal for the course is that after you're finished and you've done the drills and you've done the workouts I've given you, that you have taken your game to whatever next level you were going for. So say you want to make your high school team, my goal is to help you do that. Say you want to make a good college team, my goal is to help you do that. If you just want to start playing better to impress your friends or just kind of stand out, that's my goal. I want to make sure that you watch the course, perform the stuff I show you, and then actually get better from it. I don't want people to watch it and not get better. I put in a lot of work to make sure that you guys have everything you need in order to get better by watching the course. So if that's something that interests you, if you really are interested in becoming a very good player and improving your game, this course is definitely for you. But just look out for that video if you're not on the email list, because I definitely will, explain more about it when I release it, which will be in, seriously guys, the next couple of days. But I put in a lot of work, and I really made sure it was comprehensive and has a lot of details and information so that you guys get the most out of it. Okay, so I know a lot of you have been looking forward to that and are excited about that, and I'm certainly excited about it as well. But let's get on to your questions, because we do have a few today. So we got quite a few. I'm going to try and answer as many as I can, as always, and we'll go from there. I want to keep this podcast at under 30 minutes if I can, but I usually fail to do so. So yeah, so we're just going to see what happens. Okay, so the first question I have here is, how can I play under pressure? This was someone who asked me a few questions, and this was like kind of the main question, I think, or at least the most important one. So playing under pressure can mean, not one of two things, one of many things, but I think what the person was going for was like you're played the ball and someone closes you down and therefore is putting pressure on you. And the best, this is such a simple thing to say, but the best thing to do is to stay calm, because if you start getting frantic and you start jumping around with what you're going to do and your thoughts are all over the place, that's just going to encourage you to make a mistake. Just keep a calm mind, make sure you do what need to do, make sure that you do what you've trained to do, and you'll be fine. Like every now and then you'll make a mistake, every now and then you'll take a bad touch, and you got to let that go. That's going to happen, but if you really want to play well under pressure, the best way is to just remain calm. I know that seems like an answer that doesn't have much substance, as if like, well, how can I remain calm when there's someone on my back and I need to be alert? Well, no, remaining calm in most situations is going to benefit you more than anything else. If you remain calm, if I'm getting the ball, for example, in the midfield, and I know someone's closing me down, if I remain calm, I can, then go, okay, so how do I deal with this situation? If I don't remain calm, everything's just a mess. It's a jumble. I'm like, oh, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I do this? No, let me do this. And then I do the wrong thing, or I try and do two things at once. Have you ever tried to do two things at once in a game? I have, and it's not a fun feeling, because you can't do two things at once and you'll usually lose the ball. So you just remain calm, you stick to your game plan, whatever it is, and you do that. So I think one of the questions that was in this bundle of questions was, how to deal with pressure at the back, like when your goalkeeper passes you the ball. And the simple thing is, if someone's closing you down, especially back there, if your goalkeeper's open, just pass it back to your goalkeeper. Check if your other defenders are open. I mean, and when in doubt, just play it out if you have to. That's better than losing the ball. But just make sure you keep your focus and you keep your calmness in mind, because it's very important that you're calm in these situations. Like, the best players in the world are the ones who are calm and composed on the ball. You look at a player that I use, for example, all the time, is Iniesta. And one of the most impressive things about him is how he's able to stay calm in relatively stressful or high-pressure situations. He's able to stay calm in situations that most players would panic in. And because he doesn't panic, and because he has the ability to get out of most situations, he's able to do so because he just keeps a calmness of mind, and is able to play himself out of the situation. Xavi used to do this perfectly well, as well as Xabi Alonso. Many Spanish players, in fact, are really good at dealing with a pass or something under pressure. And so it really is a mindset when it comes down to this, because I can give you some practices you can do, but all the practices would be technical things like passing and making sure your ball control is good. But none of that matters if you're thinking too frantically, if you're not calm, because it's when you're not calm that you make mistakes, no matter how good you are. But when you are calm, you can allow your ability to take over and get you out of situations. So, for example, with me, if I was getting the ball in the midfield and someone was closing me down, if I remain calm, I can take a good touch. I can play it back to my defender. I can turn. I can really visualize what I need to do and then do it, instead of just having a jumbled mess up in my mind. Because what do you think would work better? If I am about to receive the ball, I'm aware someone's closing me down, and I stay calm, and in my mind I visualize what I'm going to do. So let's say I'm going to control the ball and shield it, and I visualize that in my head, and I'm calm about it. Do you think that's going to work? Or do you think if I'm getting the ball and I'm thinking, okay, should I shield it? Should I turn it? Oh, where is he? I don't know where he is. Oh God, where's my teammate? Is he to my left? Is he to my right? What's going on here? Oh my God, what if I lose the ball? Which one do you think is going to work? Probably the first one. The second one is just going to cause me to lose the ball because I'm getting too worried, I'm getting too frantic, and I'm not calm. So that's what I'm going to say on this one. You got to stay calm in any situation. Think of it as like every situation as if you're taking a penalty. How do you take a good penalty? Well, you stay calm and composed. If you get up in your head, you're going to take a bad penalty, you're going to miss. So you got to treat most situations like that when you're under pressure. Don't worry about it. You got to stay calm, because getting worked up about it isn't going to help you. That's the fact of the matter. I mean, like, you're going to naturally want to get worked up about it, but you kind of have to suppress that and just remain calm, breathe, play your game, stick to the game plan, don't get worked up about it, because if you do, you're going to probably lose the ball, and you don't want to do that. So just remain calm. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so next question. How to be an attacking influence from left back. Actually, I think I've seen a few questions about right backs and left backs in a few of the podcasts, so I'll just cover all of it. I think one person asked me how to play like Marcelo. That might have been a different video, but okay, so how to be an attacking influence from left back. So realize, everyone, before I get really deep into this, that you can have an attacking influence from any position. Even goalkeeper can set up counterattacks, and in fact, if you look at teams like Leicester, Tottenham, even Liverpool, Arsenal, a goalkeeper is actually required to set up counterattacks, which is starting attacks. I've even seen goalkeepers create assists, and obviously there's the like Cerny or whatever his name is, who plays in the Brazilian league. I don't think he retired, who used to score free kicks. But from any position, there's a way to allow yourself to be an attacking influence. Now, from left back, again, I think actually Marcelo's a perfect example, because I would consider him the best attacking left back in the world. I would consider the best attacking right back to be probably Dani Alves, although he's getting there in age. He's still probably one of the best when it comes to attacking. Now, the first thing you need to realize when you ask me this question is, do not neglect your defensive responsibilities. You're a defender first and foremost. Like, if you can't defend and you get caught up in the attack, you're not doing your team, a service. You're doing them a disservice. So realize first that you have to take care of your defensive responsibilities before you even start thinking about attacking. Now, that being said, there are definitely ways you can influence the attack, be an attacking fullback like Marcelo. One of the ways to do that is simply, first, I would make sure you learn a couple of skill moves. Like the thing about Marcelo is Marcelo wouldn't look out of place as a winger. He could probably play winger very well, and the reason being is because he has the attributes to do it. He's fast. He's able to beat players with skill. He has skill moves. He's able to cross the ball well, and these are all attributes you need as a winger. So because he can also defend and he can also, play left back, he's able to bring that out while playing left back. A good example of this actually is Gareth Bale. For those of you who don't know, when Gareth Bale was at Tottenham in the early years, he started out as a left back. And it was only like through the years at Tottenham when they kind of realized how quick and how good at attacking he was, or still is, then they moved him into midfield. So it goes to show you can be someone who is very talented and very attacking minded as a left back. Just first thing foremost, do not neglect your defensive responsibilities. Now, the attributes I would consider, or I think you need to work on if you want to be a good attacking left back, especially like a Marcelo, have 3 skill moves you can do very well that allow you to get a cross off or sometimes a shot. And what I mean is when you're left back, you're going to an attacking left back especially, you're going to be required to overlap your winger quite often in order to get crosses in. And you're also going to be given the opportunity to take on a defender every now and then in order to play a cross in. Basically, an attacking left back won't score too many goals. I mean, Marcelo he scores a couple here and there. He doesn't score too many. But mainly you're going to be asked from an attacking standpoint to provide a lot of danger through your crosses and your runs. That's the thing. You have to be very disciplined as a left back in the attack. You can't get too carried away, because if you try and over dribble, if you try and go for goal too much, you're going to end up losing the ball. And the problem with losing the ball as a left back is you're way out of position at that point, which gives your opponents an opportunity to counter. So that's why I'm saying make sure you take care of your defensive responsibilities first, because it's very easy to get caught out as a left back. But I would make sure you're working on your crossing, because that is where you're going to have most of your attacking contribution from left back. Most good, like Dani Alves is really good at crossing the ball. He's also really good at combining with players. He's really good at combining with his winger on the left or right side, or with his striker. Same with Marcelo. I mean, one of the reasons Ronaldo loves to play with Marcelo is because they have such a great understanding together. They just seem to have like this telepathy when it comes to working together, to the point where they can do 1-2s up and down the field until they score. And this is what you need to get used to. You're not going to be the main man. You're not going to be the one scoring the goals. You're going to be the one a part of the build-up play, and you have to kind of get used to that role and not go too nuts, and realize that left back isn't a position where you're going to be required to score the goals. If you chip in with one every now and then, that's fine. But what you should be more doing is bombing down that left wing when you have the opportunity. Again, don't go too crazy. Don't leave yourself exposed, but bombing down that wing, overlapping your winger, making runs, taking opponent one-on-one and getting a good cross in. Work on your crossing. Really work on your crossing, because that's going to be something you're going to be doing quite often as a left back if you want to contribute to the attack. Work with combining with your winger 1-2s and combining with your striker 1-2s to set up for the cross or the pass or the through ball. And those are the main ways you're going to be able to attack as a winger. So let's just review really quickly. First, learn at least 3 moves you can use to beat a defender one-on-one so that you can get a cross in. 2, work on your crossing, because if you are a left back that can't cross, you're not going to be helpful in the attack most of the time. And 3, work on combining with your striker and playing them through. You can actually get quite a few assists from left back, not just through from crossing, but playing through balls into your striker. So that's what I would consider a good attacking left back. So if that's what you're looking to do, that's how I think you should do it, okay? You're not going to really be asked to weave your way through everyone and score tons of goals. That's not your job. You have to realize first and foremost you're a defender, you're a left back, and what your job is mainly. Everyone has a job in the team, and your main one is seriously being a defender. But after that, you can definitely attack and definitely contribute to your team's success going forward, okay? So let me think here. Let's see what next questions we have. That's a good question, by the way, the left back one, and one I was meaning to get to. So here's one I want to, this won't take long to go over, but it's definitely an important one to recover, and it's should I train with full intensity the day before a game? And the quick answer to this is no. No, you shouldn't. 48 hours before game, so 2 days before game, 48 hours is pretty much the sweet spot to where you should be relaxing, resting, and only doing maybe warm-up drills. If you do full, it takes a couple of days usually for your body to fully recover from a very intense workout. For all of those of you who like lift, because this is kind of an easier example, for all of those of you who lift, if you've ever had like a session where you've been dead after you've lifted, you've probably noticed that you were sore the next day and possibly even sore the second day as well. This is because it takes your body about 48 hours, sometimes longer, to fully recover. So if you intensely train the day before a game, you're going to be tired in your match. Your body's going to ache. Your muscles are going to be sore because they're still recovering. I mean, I had a training session 2 days ago where I just did some cardio. I did some videos and, did like 2 hours of doing a combination of videos and just like sprint drills and things like that. And I'm still feeling it today. And it's 2 days later. Like, it's starting to go away, but and I could probably still do stuff today, and I probably will, but it still is affecting me. So that should give you an indication of how much you should rest. Your 2 days or 48 hours before a match is recovery. So do stretches on those days. Maybe do a light workout, but never a fully intensified workout because it's just going to tire you out. And although you may want to, and I've done this before too, before a game, the night before, I've gone out and practiced my moves and my shooting because I really want to prepare for the game and I'm excited for the game, but it's ended up hurting me because then the next day, I'm tired from my match, my body's sore, my muscles are tight, which is not what you want. So 48 hours before the game, make sure you're eating right, make sure you're getting enough rest, make sure you're stretching, and you can definitely get touches on the ball, but don't do anything too intense. Don't shoot that much. Don't go crazy with sprints. Don't do things that are going to tire out your muscles or anything like that. So very good question, and definitely something that needs to be taught. Just don't overdo it before a game. It's just dangerous to do, especially if you want to be 100% for your match. Okay, so here's a question I want to answer. I have to kind of scroll to it here. And it's from Unicorn Football, and it says, I train 3 to 4 hours a day. I mostly work on dribbling and footwork, trying to dribble faster, changing directions, etc. I work on my finishing first pass. Basically, he works on everything. I do all the things mentioned outdoors before I come in. I do fitness. That's when my training ends. I watch your videos. Thanks, man, for watching. Other instructional videos, and I also look at highlights of great players to try and learn. Very good. And all of this takes up my whole day plus homework in school. I'm 13. Do you think I'm working hard enough to go pro? I'm also considering getting up a few hours earlier to get even more training in. By the way, love the vids. Keep it up, man. Well, thank you very much, Unicorn Football. I very much appreciate that you watch my videos and you're getting something from it. And now to answer like your thing, man, I wanted to say this out loud on the podcast because, dude, if you are really training this much, dude, props to you because, yes, you are training hard enough. This is incredible if this is what you're doing every single day. The only thing I would tell you is just don't burn out. Make sure you're at least resting sometimes. Like I just discussed in the podcast earlier about 48 hours before a match, you also need during the week, you can't be training 5 hours every single day, highly intensely, simply because it's going to break down your body. Now, you're 13, and I was the same way when I was 13. I used to play for hours every single day because my body could take it because I was young. Just be careful because your body will catch up to you. But honestly, man, as long as you're feeling good and your body's feeling good and you're not tired and your muscles are fine, dude, keep doing it because if you're doing this every single day, you are on the right path. And the thing I like about what you said is you didn't just mention that you work on your dribbling and footwork and you work on like your physical aspects of the game. You didn't just mention that. You also said you watch videos, instructions, highlights of great players and try to learn. And dude, if you keep that attitude up for years to come, you are going to become such a fantastic player because one of the things that most players forget is that there's more than just the physical aspect of soccer. There's the mental, there's the learning aspect, there's the experimenting aspect. There's so much more than just going out and kicking a ball around. There's also learning from people who are better than you currently, which are professionals. There's learning from videos like this one or channels like mine, and there's so many other channels out there, like you said, other instructional videos, highlights of great players. I mean, that's beautiful, man. I just wanted to say this. your comment, simply because it's a great comment, and ultimately I'm very proud to read it, simply because you seem to be making great progress, and I love your work ethic, and I love that you see the bigger picture in the sense that you're not just going after your physical attributes, and I love that you are, because of course that's very important, but you're also taking care of learning more about the game. You're also taking care of the mental aspects of the game, and you keep researching new videos, which is perfect. So to answer your question, after rambling on for a little bit there, I definitely think you're working hard enough to go pro. Again, I don't see you personally training, as in I can't see exactly what you're doing, so I can't give you I'm not giving you any guarantees, but if you keep that up and you don't burn out, as in if you ever start feeling tired and your body starts breaking down on you, just make sure you're incorporating rest days. That's the only thing I'm going to add here, just because I used to do the same thing. Like, I would just play. I would watch professional matches. YouTube really wasn't a big thing when I was 13, but I would try and look up different things. The only thing is, when I was like 15, 16, 17, I couldn't practice for as long as I did, simply because my muscles would get more tired and all of that. But so long as your body's fine, I say stick with it. Just if you do start feeling the effects, just make sure you incorporate a rest day every now and then, so that you are refreshed and 100% for your next session. But yeah, guys, and also for anyone else listening, this is a great example to learn off of, if this is, off of Unicorn Football here, simply because you seem very dedicated to becoming a better player, and I always love to see the dedication and the drive and the motivation, really, that I get from seeing players who really work at it to make their game better. So I'm going to stop right there. Really, really good question, and also great comment, Unicorn Football. I actually answered, just noticed that you actually had the full intensity before game question. So yes, just to again reiterate, if you are training 3 to 4 hours a day, like you said, do not do that before game. Do not do that 48 hours before game, or a day before game, because you will start to feel the effects. If anything, the 48 hours before the game, again, just rest, stretch, visualize. I'll put a visualization technique video in the description of this. So if you are listening, or for anybody else who's listening and you want to take a look at that, I would definitely take a look at that. But very important, 48 hours before game, eat right, rest, stretch, do some light training, and I mean very light ball work or something, nothing too intense, and visualize. That visualization part is going to be so important 48 hours before a match. Do that a few times in that 48-hour time span or time frame before your match, okay? So we're going to move on. Great questions there, Unicorn Football, and also great work ethic. Keep up the good work. I hope to see your name on the back of a professional shirt in a few years to come. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. We have about 7-ish minutes left, so we're going to answer maybe 1 or 2 more. But so far so good. So here's a quick one from my man Adam Lallana, David Gonzalez, whose favorite player is Adam Lallana. That's why I like to see, man. That's not many people's favorite player, but I really like Adam Lallana as well. One of my favorite Liverpool players. And he asks, can you go pro if you're a beginner at the age of 17? Look, man, you can go pro. Yes. The answer is yes. I don't care when you're starting out. If you put in enough effort, you'll be so shocked at how quickly you can improve. Now, I can't promise anything. Obviously, if you're just starting at a later age, it's going to be an uphill battle because other players have been playing longer. But if you put in the effort, you do the right practices, you are incorporating the right drills into your routine, and you're doing everything right, there's no reason why you couldn't at some level potentially go pro. So, that's something to keep in mind. I don't care how old you are. There's no time like the present. And if you want the right moment to get started, start now. There's no point in waiting. And even if you don't make it, you'll definitely learn a lot in the process of trying. You'll definitely improve certain areas of your life, and you'll definitely get good at a sport that you love. So it's a win-win in that case. Okay, so good question. Keep supporting Adam Lallana. I love to see that people give him support, because I'm a Liverpool fan and he's been getting so much stick, and I'm finally it's good to see that he's finally getting some recognition, because I think he's actually a very talented player. Okay, so let's get maybe one more, maybe another one after that here. So, okay, here's a question. I can't pronounce your name, but your favorite player is Ronaldinho. Very good. Great player, very good player to look up to. And my question is it necessary to get an agent if I don't want to play in the country I'm living in? And is it possible to play like Ronaldinho at a striking position? So there's two questions here. Look, with agents, I don't have too much experience dealing with agents, so I can't give a very thorough answer here. All I know is that people who I've talked to who do know about agents and videos I've looked at and like my own individual research, it appears, if you can get the right agent, he can definitely help you more than not help you. I mean, his whole job is to get you on a team, isn't it? So, it definitely won't hurt you. But it's not like it's not something I would say is absolutely necessary, but the thing about it is you need to be proactive. No one really is going to come up to you and be like, "Hey, I saw you playing in that park and you're really good. Here's a contract." That doesn't work really. That's like 0.01% of the stories of people who go pro. You have to be proactive about all of this. You have to do the training. You have to do all this stuff. You have to take care of yourself. You have to put yourself in front of the right coaches. And that all comes down to you being proactive. I always hate it when people say it's the people you know. And to a certain extent, that's right. But go meet the people you need to know. Like people say, oh, you need to know the right people. Well, they know those people because they went out and found those people. Find the right people. And an agent is probably a part of those right people. So yeah, I would say definitely look to find an agent that can help you. But it's not absolutely necessary. I would say definitely look for it and it would help, but like you're asking me if it's necessary, and I would say it's probably not like absolutely necessary, but again, I'm recommending you do it. And your second question is, how is it possible to play like Ronaldinho in a striking position? And yeah, of course. When you're trying to play like a player, don't get too worked up about having to play exactly like that player. You want to just take the good parts of their game and apply it to your own game. Like, for example, one of my favorite players is Steven Gerrard, but I'm a striker. I'm not a midfielder, and I like playing center mid, and I can play it, but I'm more effective as a striker. But I take the things from Gerrard's game that I think can benefit me as a striker and incorporate them. Like, he was very good at making runs. He was very good at creating space. He was very good at combining with different players. He was very good at shooting from distance. I can take all these things that can be applied to the striker position and use them. So take all of the things from Ronaldinho's game that would help you as a striker and apply it to your own. And there's a lot from Ronaldinho's game that can apply at the striker position. His skill moves, at least for one. So just, look at his game and take what is going to help you as a striker from his game and work on that. Just because a player, like I could look at like we were going over Marcelo, I could look at Marcelo and be like, there's a few skill moves he's doing there that I can definitely apply to my game, even though I'm a striker. I'm not a left back. I probably will never play at left back. But it doesn't mean I can't learn from him. Doesn't mean I can't look at his moves and learn from that. I mean, it'd be more beneficial if I was looking at Suarez or Lewandowski, but it doesn't mean I can't learn from him, okay? So just to keep that in mind. So let me see, looks like we're about out of time. Let me see if I can answer one very quickly. How to play left back. So 2 people asked that question, which is good. I have 2 extra questions. How can I... All right, so improve your vision. I've kind of already gone over this in previous podcasts, and I don't have enough time to go over it in this one, so I can't in this one. And possession drills. How can you get better in possession drills? I can answer that quickly. Possession drills, you get better at them. This is a hard one because you do possession drills simply to get better at possession, at controlling the ball in tight situations. And really, with possession drills, you need to just have awareness of what's around you, because I'm assuming you said 4v4 matches or possession drills. There's not that much space to work with usually in those kind of things. So it's really about playing fast and being aware of what's around you. So if you know what's around you and who's closing you down, you also know where your teammates are, it's going to be a lot easier than if you're just guessing or you're just frantically, moving around, not knowing what to do. Remember how we said about or talked about being calm earlier in this podcast? I mean, in those situations, you want to be calm as well. And guys, don't mistake being calm for like not being energetic. I don't mean don't be energetic and just lazily walk around. I just mean calmness of mind. I don't mean you should appear calm as in like your body calm. You should definitely be energetic and bring energy to your performance. When I say calm, I just mean your mind. I don't mean I don't mean your body like is relaxed and your body's like in a zen state. That's not what I mean. I mean your mind is calm and clear so that you can visualize and think things through very quickly. So in possession drills, you just got to make sure you're aware of what's around you, and that's going to help. Being calm is going to help that. And you also need to play quickly. Like if you see your teammate open in a possession drill, you got to do it quickly, right? Because he's going to be closed down fast. And also what I would also say in a possession drill is make sure you're moving around often. Do not stand still, because if you're standing still in a possession drill with little space, it's going to be very easy to close you down and mark you. So make sure you're moving all the time in those drills, and it probably is going to be a good workout doing that, but it's definitely worth it. I love possession drills, by the way. They're quick, they're fast, they take a lot of ball control, good decision making, a lot of stuff. The more possession drills, honestly, the better for me in a small environment. I don't like full field possession drills, but like 4v4, like I think you're asking, example 4v versus 4 match possession drill or something like that. I love those because it's in tight space and it teaches you to play quick. It teaches you to control the ball. It teaches you to win the ball back. It teaches you to work hard and all of that. So that's really all I can get to in this podcast. There's way too much. There's more questions, guys. And again, thank you for all your questions. Some good questions again. I can't get to all of them, but just keep asking. Chances are I'll eventually get to your question. Now, again, as you guys know who watch or listen, I should say, to these podcasts all the way to the end, you know that I'm more likely to answer your question if you put the hashtag at the end of or in the comments, which allows me to know or lets me know that you've watched all the way to the end. And the reason I like answering your questions and I prioritize the questions of people who do the hashtag is because I know you're listening to the whole thing, and I know you're more willing to learn than, say, someone who comes onto this podcast, just looks up the information they want to know like for a minute and then leaves. So this week we're going to do, we'll do hashtag answer my question. Be very demanding about it, in all caps if you want. Answer my question. So hashtag answer my question. That's simply to let me know that you've watched this or listened to this all the way to the end, which makes me aware that you're very dedicated and very willing to learn, which is very important to me because I really want to teach players and help players who have the dedication and the motivation to actually learn and improve themselves. Okay, guys? So hashtag... oh crap, well, I've already forgotten it. Hashtag answer my question. Do it in all caps if you want. I won't get offended, you jerk. But yeah, just put that in there. Okay, guys, so thank you again for listening. Remember all the stuff I told you in the beginning, and make sure you like, share this podcast, and subscribe if you're new. If you've made it all the way to the end here and you're new, extra props for you. That's fantastic that you've listened to this all the way. Please consider subscribing because I love you guys. I love you, my subscribers, and I love teaching you guys. So I would love for you to be a part of our team here. Absolutely, 100%. All right, guys. Also, be sure if you're on the email list to look out for the release of the course. If you're already on there, you should be getting a preview, a sneak peek. If you haven't checked your emails, so make sure you check that and follow the link. It's going to lead you to a video that only people on the email list can access. And for those of you not on the email list, yes, I will be sending you videos in the future as well of videos only accessible to the email list. So if that's something that interests you, things like extra training, drills, and things like that won't be on the channel, definitely get on there. There should be a link in the description if you want that. Okay, guys, so once again, thank you. Leave all of your questions down below. No question is stupid except the stupid ones. That should be a quote. But no, leave any question. Again, I'll try to get to as many of them as I can, and I'll see you on the next podcast.